trained by the best military in the world.
Best military in the world. And listen, I'm doing a lot of chirping, a lot of chirping. Kids, girls, men, it don't matter.
Bro, you want somebody to test you.
Yeah, and God forbid we run for 200 yards against them every time. One of these.
Shit's smooth as hell. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a Six-Man Blitz episode. Got two special guests with me today. My brother Jacob Huff and my boy Bryce Heron. We're ready to break down some college football. Talk about the Bears. He got the shit on. The Bears gear on. He ready. We'll talk about that at the end of the episode, but great topics of college football to break down. Mr. Bryce is LSU guy, so we can kick it off there. Lane Kiffin, man. Are you
First
ready?
of all, let me preface this. This
Here we go.
motherfucker has never been to Louisiana.
Actually, I have a picture of me at Louisiana State University, all right? Outside the stadium.
He's never stepped foot in the stadium.
Not yet. But the biggest LSU fan, probably known the man.
So how are you feeling about the Lane Kiffin shit? You think he's the guy to take y'all to the promised land again?
I do. I mean, he's arguably the best offensive mind in college football. Everyone wants to talk about his exit. I don't care about his exit. I want him to win ball games. You know what I mean? Like I don't care that he left USC and Tennessee and all that. That's all in the past. If he does leave for an NFL job eventually because he gets that itch, that's fine. Give me 10-win seasons, 11-win seasons. You know, I'm okay with that. But he's bringing a bag, and it's Louis, like Deion Sanders said. So I'm excited for it. If Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss quarterback, gets granted another year because he only played 2 games as a D2 player, so he should have been granted a red shirt. So he's fighting for that now. But yeah, I'm ready for it. He's all in. He's gonna bring Coach O back, get that Louisiana accent back. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, Chambliss is nice, bro. He had a great year at Ole Miss. He honestly played like one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. That'd be a cheat code. Maybe Kawan Lacey too coming over. That'd be nasty. But
you know where Lane Kiffin found Trinidad Chambliss?
Where?
Twitter. That's how good of a coach he is. And I watch stats all day. Ole Miss they've had maybe 8 players drafted in the first 4 rounds. So he was able to do that with those players versus LSU has had 14 and they've been god awful over the last couple years. So if he can do that with that, man, he's bringing Louis. So
I got something to say on the topic. I don't have any problem with what Lane Kiffin did. I think he's doing what's best for him, and go chase the money, whatever you got to do. My problem is with LSU. Haven't we read this book before? Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame, leaves him on bad terms, leaves him high and dry. Isn't there a level of karma that we're experiencing with these coaches leaving in bad terms with this particular program?
So, yes, but the difference is when Lane Kiffin left, everyone wanted Lane Kiffin to stay in Ole Miss. They fought for him to stay in Ole Miss. When Brian Kelly left Notre Dame, fans were like, good riddance. Have fun with him. And Brian Kelly was too antiquated. Like, he couldn't survive in today's game, whereas Lane Kiffin is he is the transfer portal king. He's able to recruit. He's a fun guy, but at the same time, he's a trailblazer in the sense he's the first one to leave a playoff school. So the NCAA is or the college football is gonna adjust to it. I think they're gonna get to the point where coaches are not allowed to leave midseason, but they have to fix the calendar.
That was a huge debacle. Like, he wanted to coach still the playoff team through the playoff run and shit. Motherfuckers, like, there was like players on Twitter on Ole Miss was like, oh, that's not what he was saying in the meetings and shit. Like, what were you guys' thoughts on how he exited? Because he was like, oh, if I can't coach the playoff run, I'm taking everybody.
I think there's reports that say, from both sides. Lane is saying he didn't do that. Players and coaches and athletic directors are saying he did. Again, as an LSU fan, if he wants to leave us in the same fashion, like I said, win some ball games. I think people get too bogged down by the person, the personableness and the personality of college football. At the end of the day, it's about winning ball games and winning championships. So
Yeah.
Well, there's in no other sport can you reference head football coaches in political positions like this? Like this is politics. Like
Yeah, it is.
this is like a governor trying to get elected or a presidential campaign. Like these are and by all means, the state of Ole Miss, the state of Mississippi, Lane Kiffin is a bigger political figure than any other politician in that state. higher paid too. And, from the perspective of the athletic directors and from the governor, and all of those people are their jobs are contingent on whether or not that football team is good. So
Yeah.
I don't believe anything what they say. I don't care what they say. You know what I mean? I listen to what the players say. There's no way as Lane Kiffin, in my opinion and what I've seen and what I've heard from other things in college football, would he leave those players high and dry like that?
yeah.
I think he genuinely wanted to coach still, even though he knew he was making a decision that was going to affect the years to come with those players. So,
And I'll say one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Lane Kiffin saw blood in the water, essentially, like with the $25 million revenue share, with the Deloitte being the third party, where things have to go through them to see if it's fair market share. He smelled blood in the water. I think we're going to get back to a blue chip kind of school, just dynamic, like where you have your Alabamas and everything, because the playing field is essentially leveled now. So who would you rather go to, University of Illinois or University of Alabama? Because you can't just throw $5 million at a player because you want them, because now it has to be equal to fair market share. So essentially going back to what I was saying, Lane Kiffin smelled blood in the water. Go be a blue chip coach. Don't coach at Ole Miss. Ole Miss doesn't have blue chip players.
the difference with you throwing $5 million at a player in Alabama is still, you still have to consider that there are other $5 million players that you're going to have to compete against at a place like Alabama or LSU. Rather, when University of Illinois, if they throw you $5 million, or like let's just say $3 or $4 million, and you're good with that, you're not going to have to compete with another $3 or $4 million guy. You're going to be the guy,
Yeah.
and they're putting a lot of they're risking a lot on you, which as a 5-star recruit, 4-star recruit should make you feel good. But yeah, man, it's gonna be Moneyball. It already is Moneyball, and we'll see how Lane Kiffin does it at the biggest blue chip of them all, one of the biggest blue chips of them all.
To put it in perspective, Ole Miss just had their best crowd ever, 68,000 people, sold out the stadium. Everyone, it was a history. LSU played that same day at 5-4 or whatever, and they had 100,000 people in the stands.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's a difference to this, and he said it with that money backing me and this logo on my chest and that stadium. He's like, the sky's the limit. So I agree.
They're
Yeah.
blue. Yeah, they're blue blood.
Mm-hmm.
So you think he's going to bring a chip? I mean, every LSU coach that's come in, Ed Orgeron, well, minus Brian Kelly, has won a chip in LSU.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I mean, the offense has been the Achilles heel this year. So if you insert a great mind in offensive mind, then why not? I equate it to the Bears, because obviously I'm a Bears fan and an LSU fan. You see what Ben Johnson did. You insert an offensive mind, let the defense kind of handle themselves, and or get a defensive staff. You're cooking.
Watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out.
Watch out, 100%.
Now, so talking about Lane Kiffin, SEC, let's switch over to the Big Ten. Some movement. Pat Fitzgerald is going to be the new head coach at Michigan State. Penn State's still dealing with, replacing James Franklin. What's your guys' thoughts on, the movement in the Big Ten?
I really like the hire that Michigan State had. I'll be interested to see if he keeps anybody on staff there. I haven't seen any reports of him hiring anybody yet. I actually talked to Michigan State a couple days ago, and they told me about the hire a couple days before it broke. And
Early scoop.
and he had a meeting with the players and coaches and said, look, I mean, you guys know what it is. What every new head coach comes in and says, you guys look, I mean, I'm going to have a sit down with each and every one of you, players included, coaching staff included. So I'm interested to see from players' perspective who he keeps. I don't think Aiden Childs at Michigan State sticks around. I think it's best for him
Yeah,
to
he's
to
probably gonna
go and
go.
transfer. So I don't know if you guys watched that Maryland game in the last game of the season, but
Their quarterback was hooping, bro.
their quarterback
I
was
can't
playing
pronounce his
really
name,
well.
but he hooped.
Yeah. And according to my source at Michigan State, Aiden Childs was a player that would, after a series, would sit down and not talk to anybody, just be locked in, focused. The current player, the current quarterback who was out there, jumping up and down the sidelines, talking to the defense after a series, talking to his offensive line, like doing these leadership activities that you want to see out of quarterback. So I think he's going to be the guy moving forward. Probably be best for Aiden to leave. And I'm really excited that Fitzgerald, from my company's perspective, because Riddell and Fitz had a really good relationship. So seeing him get back into the Big Ten and one of my customers, I'm really excited about that. So yeah, Michigan State's going to be. Just watch out for him, man. He might come back. Fitzgerald is a hell of a coach. So
Football's better when Michigan State is good, in my opinion.
I agree.
Bro, that Alicio, the quarterback, he used to play 7-on-7 with the Marion. Him,
Really?
Sequita knows his parents and shit. I remember her talking about them.
They won a game versus a Maryland quarterback in Malik Washington who threw 475 yards. He was lighting their defense up.
Yeah.
Wow.
He threw for 475 yards and they still won. So, it was a fun game to watch offensively, not a fun game to watch defensively, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Fitz does there. If he what he changes, if he keeps my former coach Joe Rossi at defensive coordinator, because like being out of the coaching sphere for 3-4 years, it's not necessarily that you lose your contacts. You still have plenty of coaching contacts, but it's just interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who he brings in.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. What about James Franklin and Penn State? Him going on to Virginia Tech, and I was telling Jacob before this started, I want Terry Smith to keep the job, but I don't know if he's gonna keep it.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know too much about the Big Ten. Obviously, I'm an SEC guy. I think Penn State needs to hurry up and find a coach because right now they're 128th, I want to say, in recruiting class. The recruiting class has been decimated.
Really?
Yeah,
Only
a
two
lot of
signees or something like that.
So they need to find a coach and find it quick.
Yeah,
really.
Well, actually, early signing day is still going on. It's a 3-day period, but yeah, I mean, this early signing day is the signing day, as you know, Jacob, because you were an early enrollee. Like players are not enrolled; they're not doing their high school senior year really. They're in early enrollees, but they have to do that early signing day. So this 3-day period is huge, and there's no spring transfer portal this year too. So you want to get those guys in. This between like the middle of January is huge timing. So Penn State needs to hurry up. There's no reason Virginia Tech should have a better recruiting class than them.
yeah. No.
No. I think he would have had to win every single game this year if he wanted to keep his job.
Terry Smith, he took them bowl eligible. I mean, he had some
Doesn't
tough games
matter.
on the schedule.
Doesn't matter. All right. When you fire a coach like him, you got to fire the whole staff, and that's what they're going to do.
Bro.
And
Yeah.
they're not going to do it. They're going to make a new head coach do it. That's just kind of the job. It's kind of what happens in college football. You bring in a new coach, he brings in a new staff, and everybody but the water boy is gone.
Nah, I like what he did for the little short sample size we got. He played at Penn State, so he's kind of a player's coach. The team kind of bought into him, so thought he created some magic. But it looks like they might look for a different guy, Matt Campbell maybe. But James Franklin, how y'all think he's gonna do on Virginia Tech? He's already doing good with the signees and shit.
I think he's going to do great. I like James Franklin. I liked him when Brian Kelly was randomly came to LSU. He wasn't even on the odds. Mel, funny, we're talking about Michigan State. Mel Tucker was actually number one in odds. So was James Franklin. So I've liked James Franklin from the get go. It's hard at those schools, especially Big Ten. The rivalries run so deep. You expect nothing but greatness from them. So like he was on the hot seat as soon as he took the job. So
Yeah.
but I think he'll do great at Virginia Tech. I mean, Virginia Tech is one of those schools everyone wants to see succeed. And I mean, like I said, James Franklin is just a good coach, and he's going to bring a good roster with him, roster/staff.
Oh yeah. Dude, funny story about James Franklin. So there was a Bolingbrook game. I think we were against some team. And me, Jake, and Trevor, like when we were ball boys and shit, we was talking to James Franklin for a little during the game. And we was like, oh yo, check out number 3, check out number 2, check out Tough. Like we were just telling him all the players and shit to check out. And she was like, all right, I'll keep watching. All right, thanks. Cool ass dude. We talked to him for a little bit. It wasn't Bolingbrook for Lincoln Ways. It was a blowout. It was some team. We blew them the fuck out. But cool ass dude.
Yeah, no, I have a different experience to James Franklin. He kind of snubbed me when I saw him when I met him. But I still think very highly of him. You know, I think he's a hell of a coach. I think he was unfairly fired at Penn State, but that's just the standard that they have there.
Yeah.
You know, may I remind you guys, at the height of Ohio State's dominance, James Franklin pulled out a Big Ten championship, and you know, can't remember all the players they had. I think they had
Trace McSorley and I think Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon. I'm talking about Ohio State. Ohio State, I think they had like
Justin Fields that year, right?
Fields. Might have been before Fields, right?
Dobbins?
I think it was
J.K. Dobbins?
I think it was JT Barrett.
Okay.
And you know, they had a lot of good players. I mean, we're just talking about Penn State and how it came to this. I don't know why they weren't able to get over the hump in those big games. And then when you go lose to Northwestern after that emotional loss, you lose to UCLA, who's, you know,
UCLA at the time.
They underestimated those teams tremendously. And if that's fireworthy, then I guess it is. But you know,
thinking that it's such a win now, you know, mindset, you know, with everyone, you see those coaches like Ryan Day who get elevated from the coordinator spot and then start winning immediately. So they expect something like that from a seasoned, you know, vet of a coach like James Franklin. But like I said, he was on the hot, in those big jobs, you're on the hot seat as soon as you take the job.
Yeah.
So, but I don't see why, I mean, if Penn State gets a coach like, and Jacob, you could speak from experience, but looking on TV, that whiteout is like no other. You know what I mean? The Penn State, they're going to come out and support their team like no other. So why wouldn't you want to go there as a player?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just got done talking about LSU, and now I wouldn't compare LSU to Penn State, but they are like another blue chip, another blue blood in the Big Ten. I mean, they are a huge program, and the whole state of Pennsylvania loves that school. It's a very attractive coaching destination. Very attractive. Yeah, nobody ever said it wasn't. But
I'll ask you, Jacob and Micah. There was an interview with Ben Roethlisberger who's saying Mike Tomlin would be perfect for the job.
He would
be Pennsylvania guy. I mean, not from Pennsylvania, but you know, coaching the Steelers. That'd be interesting. That'd be really interesting.
That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. But let me ask you this: do you think he's a college coach? I think he would do just fine in college.
Yeah, I think he would too.
But there is a big difference between NFL coaching and college coaching. Huge difference.
I mean, Belichick couldn't do it, and he's the greatest.
The jury's still out on Belichick. I'm not ready to, because it takes time. This is what I mean. It takes time in college. You know, it takes time, even with the transfer portal. And you're not going to do it overnight. You're not going to do it overnight. In the NFL, you have contracts. You have people flowing in and out of the program, you know.
True.
Yeah, you can change a culture. Ben Johnson's doing it right now, and with the Bears, you can change a culture over, not overnight, but over the course of a year. You know, if you have the right tools in place, if you do all the little things right, you know, I think when you first get to a college program to change over a culture, the way that college is set up. There's only 32 teams in the NFL. There's 120 FBS teams. There's so much competition, so many players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot tougher to change over a culture in college.
And if the players, like, if they ain't fucking with what you're saying, you ain't giving them playing time, they dipping.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
There's no consistency.
Exactly. You're not only recruiting, so it used to be where you recruited your freshmen and you had a couple transfer guys here and there. That's when I played. Now you are not only recruiting the freshmen, you're recruiting transfer portal guys. You're recruiting your own players every year. You're recruiting year over year your own players, and you have to convince your own players to stick around. It's just, that's tough. I don't know if I want to do it if I'm in Tomlin's position. You know what I mean? Why would you leave the NFL? I mean, here's the thing: if he gets fired, which,
could happen.
It could happen. I don't want to see it happen, but
I don't
it could
either.
happen.
Both of you guys, you being a Big Ten guy, you being an SEC guy, college football playoff is coming. How are you guys feeling about this?
Bryce is not an SEC guy.
SEC through and through. I might as well suit up. Let me go get my LSU helmet real fast.
How you guys feeling about the college football playoff? Like, it looks like there's a little SEC bias. There's a little, 3 Big Ten teams. How you feel about the current makeup of the playoff right now, the teams involved right now?
First of all, we have to be fair. Okay. We have to be fair across the board. And they created the rules. The rules are rules, and they're in place for a reason. You have to be able to put in one of these group of 5 teams in. And
they're going to get clapped.
It's not going to be pretty when they do it. But that's the rules. They have to do it. And somebody's going to get snubbed because of it. And whether it's, a Alabama team that has 3 losses after they lose, if hypothetically they lose to Georgia, then it has to be them. Or, you got to put Notre Dame in because of their strength of schedule, or, you got to keep these teams out. Like Texas deserves to go if you look at who they've beaten and who they played. It's a crapshoot, and it's not fair to those teams that are far better than who are going to be on the back end of this playoff. But it's, that's why it's going to grow to 32 teams next year.
Hopefully not. I like the 12 team.
12 team is nice.
12 team is nice because the 13th team is always that team that's on the outside look, that outside looking in team. I like that. Honestly, I think I'm an SEC guy, but I think it's going to be another Big Ten championship this year. I
was going to
truly believe in Indiana. I don't know why. I think that's my sleeper pick, but I think they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
No, it's not happening.
You don't think it's happening?
No,
I mean, we'll see. I have to look at it a little bit more. Honestly,
I'm not even an Ohio State fan, and I'm a big underdog guy. And I love Indiana, Signetti, all those guys. Fernando Mendoza.
They got everything to beat them, bro.
Incredible season they've had, and the buy-in, the seniors that could have left to the NFL last year that decided to stay. Man, it's just everything good about college football is Indiana. I love Indiana, but I think, and this is not an exaggeration, Ohio State can beat a couple NFL teams, not just one.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't doubt
this is the best Ohio State team I think I've ever seen. And
has Ohio State have they been pressured though? I mean, I haven't watched a lot of games.
That Texas game, it was week 1, That was their only game that's really been like tight. Every other game they've had their way.
And if you watch that game, they controlled that whole game though.
Yeah.
Like they were up by 14, 17 points at half. Like they had to come back, and they were in tempo time by the time Texas was trying to, bring it into a 1-score game. I don't think that it was even that close. Watching the game, I'm like, this is an ass kicking.
Yeah, but would they beat Texas today? The Texas team that Arch Manning has kind of gotten,
100%.
You think 100%?
I think they would beat them, but it would be closer probably. It'd be closer.
Yeah. I mean, it was 14-7, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And it's like Michigan was their toughest, real test that we were expecting, and they had their way with Michigan.
Bryce Underwood is garbage. I'm glad he didn't come to LSU.
Yeah, he can't throw the ball.
So you guys are leaning more towards a Big Ten champion than, Ohio State, Indiana, those two that win it all?
The Big Ten is the best conference this year. I mean, from top to bottom, when you look at teams like Oregon, even USC could give a lot of teams in the SEC
USC.
some bout. I think pound for pound, the Big Ten we're no longer talking about the Big Ten as a secondary conference. They're the best conference.
Even Oregon, I feel like could give somebody some go, like one of these teams.
Yeah. And we added some incredible teams. So, 5 years ago, we probably we definitely wouldn't be saying this, but,
I don't know. I don't see USC getting in for one because Notre Dame, they don't have a conference championship. And if you're going off of the power rankings, there's not 11 more teams that can beat Notre Dame. Or there are maybe 11 teams that could beat Notre Dame, but outside of that, you're looking at your outside looking in. You have your BYU's who are kind of in Vanderbilt's, Utah's. None of those teams are beating Notre Dame. It's not not a chance. So Notre Dame's in. I think
You think
Texas
over
A&M.
Miami too?
everybody wants to see Notre Dame in
Yeah.
because of the running back that they
Yeah,
have.
I love him.
Yeah.
He's
He
nice.
is the best running back in the country, not a close second. And
No, not even close. I think Notre Dame beats Miami on a neutral playing field today.
Yeah,
I
I think
don't,
so too.
so there's no way you can let Miami has lost like bad losses, whereas Notre
SMU,
Dame,
Louisville,
y-
yeah.
yeah, Notre Dame doesn't have bad losses. They have losses to top 12 teams. So I just don't see Miami. If it comes down to the two of them, I don't see Miami getting in. Hell, I don't even see Ole Miss getting in
Oh,
unless Pete Golden can convince the committee. They have a 9% chance of getting into the playoffs right now at
damn.
11-1.
Damn.
I heard Marcus Freeman say that you want the best 12 teams right now,
Mhm.
which I disagree with. I think you have to bring in the best 12 teams that have put together the body of work throughout the course of the season,
Yeah.
or else we can't even, credit what teams have done in the first 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I
That
mean,
shit
like
don't matter.
I agree.
what are those games even played for? You know what I mean? I disagree with that 100%. So, you gotta look at the whole schedule. You got to look at what teams have done throughout their resume. What's your resume? What's your ticket that you're punching in? You
Well,
know,
that if that's the case, then I mean, you got your teams that did really well in the beginning. You have your South Floridas. I mean, obviously they're not in the hunt anymore because they lost games. But I
you're
respectfully disagree.
just like any good movie. You're only as good as your ending. You know what I mean? You're only as
Yeah,
good
right.
as a team as your ending, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, your last few games matter a lot. They matter more often, but uh, you can't just disassociate the first few games and act
No,
like
I
they didn't
agree.
happen or you had a bad loss or whatever. No, these bad losses can count. The margins between these teams are razor thin. Like
Yeah.
like to choose versus this team that didn't make their conference championship, they're in a tougher conference. Like there's just so many different variables.
Yeah.
You gotta accept the fact that you as a team are culpable for what you did at the beginning of the season if you lost or won.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do like how it's turning into like an any given Sunday in the NFL. It's turning into any given Saturday. Like you have a group of five team that can go out and destroy Alabama today, and you wouldn't expect it. I mean, no one expected Florida State to beat
Yeah. Nobody expects that shit.
Alabama. No one expected South Florida to beat Florida. So it really is any given Saturday now. That's what I like about how level the playing field has been with this NIL. I'm NIL through and through. I love it. I don't care what anyone says. So
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice seeing people get their money.
Mhm.
Let's head over to the college football championship game matchups. Let's start off with just the three big ones. The three ones everybody's watching. Texas Tech versus BYU. That game's at 11 a.m. Saturday. What are our thoughts on that? Who we got winning this one?
Take the over.
Yeah, take the over. Texas Tech wins by 14.
Yeah, it's like 12 and a half. They're favorited right now.
Yeah. BYU's just not. I mean, I don't know how they do well every year. They're scrappers. Like they'll be at the end of the game, down 14 and they'll find a way back. But Texas Tech is what LSU thought they were going to be this year. It
Yeah.
went into the transfer portal, had the number one class according to rivals, whereas LSU had it according to On Three, whatever the case may be. But Texas Tech went out there and they had all the puzzle pieces put together. They did have a bad loss though to Arizona State, one of those.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, but Arizona is decent this year. I mean, they're 18th in the nation, but Texas Tech is just far, far above. I think looking at the top 4 teams,
one bad loss in a Power 5 conference championship is still far better than a lot of other people's resumes. They'll probably win. And Texas Tech last year had the makings of a really, really good program, and the fact they are the Indiana of the Pac-12. You know what I mean?
Big 12.
Big 12. Sorry,
Mhm.
they put together the pieces the right way. And yeah, I love when coaches do it the right way and players do it the right way. I mean, this is a far less budget than what Ohio State has,
Yeah.
Texas has. Now, don't get me wrong. They
No,
got
Texas
some.
Tech got
They got
money.
some money over there
They
in
got
Texas
money.
Tech. But if we're being honest, we're talking at least tens of millions of dollars less in NIL budget, right? Versus
Yeah.
Ohio State, Texas, you're LSU. You know what I mean? Like it's just tens of millions of dollars less. I mean, it's still Texas Tech. You know, now we're going to be talking about them in a different connotation going into this playoff. I think they're going to make some noise. So
They're good
also
enough.
think.
Yeah. Their defense
Yeah,
is phenomenal.
I think if Texas Tech loses this game, they're still in the playoffs. If BYU loses this game, then they're not. And
I love BYU and their coach too. I think that's fair
Yeah.
to say.
Yeah.
I think they.
I like
Penn
the
State
coach.
should have got him.
I wouldn't touch the plus minus of whatever the spread is. I wouldn't touch it because that is a really good coach, and their quarterback looks like he's a couple chicken sandwiches away from free technique. But he's a good quarterback.
Who's that? Retzlaff? Is he at BYU?
Think so. He's number 47. I think he's a freshman.
No, Retzlaff. They got a quarterback from North Carolina, one of those two. I'm pretty sure they have a transfer quarterback.
Okay. Now, it should be interesting. I think it sounds like we all got Texas Tech for this one to come out on top. The next one, 2 playoff teams for real. Bama versus Georgia. Who we taking in the SEC championship game?
You know, I haven't
Bama.
watched enough on Georgia this year to make a good assessment on who wins this game. You know, I've watched a couple of their games, but I mostly watch Alabama games, and Alabama's very beatable. I mean, extremely beatable. They have a lot of holes on their offense. I think their quarterback gets rattled back there. Doesn't have great pocket presence.
Ty Simpson, yeah.
You know, when they decide to give Ryan the ball, then they're the better. Is he even playing in this game? Because they said he's going to, isn't he going to LSU now? Ryan Williams. I'm pretty sure
You're breaking news to me. Hold on, I'm about to go. I'm about to go do the Kodak Bop.
That might be some rumors.
Maybe that was fake news or rumors, but
I don't care. The fact that they're even rumors means LSU's on the right track.
Lane Kiffin finna take him.
Oh yeah, 100%. And Micah, you're actually right. It's Bear Bachmeyer. He is a freshman, number 47.
He's
for
Cheeks.
BYU.
Yeah, Bachmeyer. Yeah. No, he's not Cheeks, right? He really is not Cheeks. He's averaged 300 passing yards and 100 rushing yards this season. Like, he's not Cheeks. He's actually a really good quarterback.
354 yards against AP top 25 teams average.
Oh damn, that's actually really good. I just fuck with their running back LJ Martin. He's a dog.
Yeah. To answer your question about the Bama Georgia game, Bama has always been Georgia's Achilles heel. Like Bama can go and walk in their trap, take over their trap easily, and for no good reason. I mean, Bama, even when they're not the Bama of old, they've always had Georgia's numbers. So I give Bama the edge. If they can, like Jacob said, their offense does have holes in it. They do have their running game just can't get it together. But I think they need to get away from Jam Miller and just let that other number 4 run the ball, because he's a force to be reckoned with. And then also they have their run defense isn't great, but I mean they have the athletes. They just need to get it together, and they beat Georgia already this year. So
yeah. So the rumors appear to stem from a viral social media post claiming Williams, quote, will follow new LSU head coach Lane Kiffin to Baton Rouge under a $2 million NIL deal. But so far, there's no evidence that Williams has entered the transfer portal.
Okay, that's
only thing about Williams is
strong rumors. I thought it was concrete. I guess not.
Hey, rumors is fine with me, but Williams has a bad drop problem.
He
That's my only
does.
issue with him.
And one of the last
He
games,
does drop the
he
ball, but when he
fumbled a
has good
punt
games,
too.
when he has good games versus the teams that are good, Missouri, for instance.
Uh-huh.
Who else did they play recently? Tennessee, I think he had a really good game. They win those games, but
Yeah.
when he doesn't get the ball, they lose. So
Giovanni
I think
Bernard is a beast.
they go as
Mhm.
far as Ryan takes them in this game. If they're able to move the ball, if they're able to throw the ball versus that strong defense. I think Georgia's very beatable too, though. So it's a coin flip. If you ask me, what the better championship game is, it's by far the Big Ten game versus Ohio State versus Indiana. Those two teams neither of them look beatable
No.
Yeah.
versus the tough schedules that they played,
Good on
and none
good.
of them have been beaten. They both of them are undefeated. So that is the far more anticipated game, in my opinion. But to answer your question, I think Georgia wins just because Georgia just looks more stout um, in terms of running the ball, in terms of
Uh-huh.
offensive production. Both defenses are really good.
Yeah.
I think there might be a little bit more holes in the Bama defense. That's why I'm going Georgia.
Bama has those DBs. Do you
Yeah.
know how it is?
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
talent.
This game's going to be won by running the ball, and if or Ryan Williams gets the ball. So
Mhm. Yeah, whichever offense has the most success, I think Stockton or Simpson, whatever quarterback plays the best. I'm going to ride with Georgia. They've been on a heater lately. The win against Texas, they completely dominated Arch Manning and that team. So they've been on a hot run, whereas Alabama's been struggling as of late. So I'm going to roll with Georgia. Let's talk about the game y'all anticipated. Indiana, Ohio State, good on good. Who y'all taking?
great on great, man. There's some good programs. This is going to be
It's a
all
championship.
yeah, this is gonna be an all-American fight, man. It's gonna be a heavyweight fight, and I think Indiana really gives them some go. I do, but in no way, in my mind, would they be able to upset Ohio State. I'm sorry,
No way.
and if I'm on this podcast next week, um, having been wrong, then then I'll do something for you guys. But I don't think I really believe that Ohio State, and this is my unbiased opinion. I don't like the school. I'm not even a big fan of the school. I
No,
think
yeah.
they're the best team in college football, and there's not a close second. And like I said before, they could beat some NFL teams. If you
Yeah.
look at the guys on their team, every single one of them could play in the NFL. Every single one, every single one of them. And it would be kind of foolish to think that they wouldn't be able to put up points on NFL defense because of the way don't don't act like that defense that they have is not NFL caliber either. They've like averaged 3 points a game, something like that. They're the most incredible defense I think I've ever seen in college football. So led
I
by
just
an
wrote an
NFL
article
coach
about it.
too.
I think it's 7. I think it's 7 points they've given
Yeah,
up all
like
game.
it's insane.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's insane. They
In today's football,
highest
that's insane.
best scoring defense in NCAA, and yeah,
Historic
no,
defense for sure.
I think they're a phenomenal team.
Yeah, I mean, signs point towards Ohio. Ohio State's a 5.5 point favorite, which makes sense. I mean, you have common foes and Ohio State playing obviously Big Ten play games where they played Wisconsin and beat them 34-0, whereas Indiana beat them 24-9 or something like that. So there are some similarities. Like there's some cross reference games that you can kind of look at, but I think Indiana's offense is too high powered to only score 7 points, and I think they have
Yeah.
enough of a defense to kind of hold them. Um, my heart says Indiana, my brain says Ohio State, but I think it's a close game. I think it's like 30-27 or something like that. Maybe even come down to the wire.
I think it's a close ass game. It comes down to which quarterback plays the better, San or Mendoza. And I think Mendoza's got the juice. He's got what you need. Omar Cooper Jr. is a really fantastic receiver. They have the playmakers. And, Bo Jackson for Ohio State, he's been on a nice tear. So they have the run game. Can Sayan step up? Are the lights going to get too bright for the freshman? That's my question.
That
Does this determine the Heisman here?
It does.
They're not going to be able to move the ball. Rest of this defense. I'm sorry. This is an incredible defense, guys. I'm sorry, but hey, I'll watch with you guys. I'll jump on the phone. We can break it down play by play. But I really don't think they're going to be able to move the ball. Nobody has been able to. And this is probably the best team that they've played all year, but still, yeah, because they're better than Texas, and they haven't played Oregon, right? So yeah, this is the best team that they've played. So I think they put up 14 points.
Okay.
I think they put up 14 points, but the defense that Indiana has is good. But they're gonna, by the time the fourth quarter comes, they're gonna,
be worn out.
They're gonna
be on the field a lot. Yeah.
They're gonna be worn out.
I can definitely see that. I don't know Indiana. Does Indiana have a run game really, or not
Yeah,
against
they have
that defense?
They're very balanced. They run the ball decently. Their best asset is throwing the ball, though. They make it really tough on the edges for defenses. They like to spread out the ball, and they have a really good receiver. Couple of really good receivers, actually. Two of them are Blitnikoff finalists, and yeah, if those guys can get open, which is saying a lot versus defense, then I can see it happening. But man, I'm just telling you, this defense is as advertised.
Yeah.
Yeah, Washington. When Ohio State played Washington, I thought that was going to be a closer game.
I
mean,
did
it was 24-6, but Washington has a nice run game. So if they held up against Washington's run game, then they could probably hold up against Indiana's no problem. So I think it is. I think honestly 30-27 sounds a little high. I might have to revamp that. Maybe 21-17.
Yeah, 21-14 is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Hoosiers. Upset.
I'm going 34-14.
Okay. Damn.
damn.
Nobody's got a shot against Ohio State then.
Yeah, according to you, they beat Illinois 63-10. I mean, it's not obviously the same thing, but Illinois was a top 10 team at the time.
Oh yeah, and I think Ohio State won 34-7, 10 against Illinois.
34-16.
Yeah, it was kind of closer than that.
I've never seen, because I'm a football guy, I'm a defensive guy too. So when I break down the film, I've never seen a defense that is this physical. They have all three. They're disciplined, physical, and they are opportunistic. To have all those three, man, and to do it at the level that they do it at, it's scary. And I think Indiana's watching film right now. And what's that Friday Night Lights bit? Damn, them boys big. I think that they're an exceptional defense that could stop a lot of NFL offenses right now.
Caleb Downs alone, he's a top 10 pick.
Arvell Reese is up there too. That linebacker. Yeah, they're nice.
They are nice. I do think Indiana's going to be able to put up points on them. Just that high-powered offense. I think some points will come. Hell, even take the over for you. We'll be surprised. I mean, where are they playing?
Over's 48.5. I think
they're playing
in Lucas Oil in Indiana. Where the Colts play.
Home field advantage.
Home.
I've gone back and forth on the over/under. I think I'm going to stay away from it. Because it all depends on Indiana's defense, in my opinion. Looking at this game, because if Indiana's defense can play well, then it might be a 21-14 game. It might be 14-7 going into the fourth quarter. I don't know.
It could be very well.
Because I'm not all that sold as much as I'm way higher on Ohio State's defense than their offense. Even considering, Sand and the receivers they have, because Tate is really good too. That motherfucker can
the top two
ball.
receivers. Yeah,
that dude can ball. But I am higher on their defense for sure than their offense. It's just depending on Indiana's defense going into this game and special teams. Make some magic happen. Special teams. They might make this game closer, but we'll see.
It'll be a matchup for the ages. Classic.
Classic.
It's gonna be one of those games they put on like the Big Ten network and shit during the off season.
Right,
It's
right.
gonna be a
But
classic.
remember, Indiana struggled heavily versus that Penn State team, and that Penn
Yeah,
State
they
team
did.
is still good. They should have lost that game. Penn State had it in the bag, but I watched that whole game, and there's something magical about this Indiana team. So I'm very weary because of the magic they've put together, this season, and the culture they have, the coach they have, the quarterback too. But I really think Ohio State is as advertised.
Okay,
They're ready to go. Indiana coach signed an extension. He knows he's there. I don't know, something like you said. There's something magical around that program right now. And even if they lose to Ohio State, that's going to make them more dangerous in the playoffs,
I
in
think
my
so too.
opinion.
They're
Yeah.
facing their toughest matchup. So
We might be looking at the national championship game.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean, they
Yeah.
beat Oregon. Let's not remember like this. They're battle tested. I mean, they played
Yeah.
number 3, number 9. Penn State's not a bad team. They
Dog walked
freaking
Illinois.
dog walked
that
Illinois, dog walked Wisconsin. So
that
like,
Oregon win in Eugene at Auschwitz Stadium.
Auschwitz.
Autzen Stadium. That was so shocking to me.
yeah.
That was so shocking because I've been to Autzen Stadium, and that place is like the Bermuda Triangle. Winning there is so hard. And because you got to fly all the way to the West Coast, not to mention the dehydration your body gets, on that plane getting there. Then you get there and you got to drive 2 hours in the middle of the forest. Because that's what it is. It's nothing but forests all the way until you get there. And it is it's a hard stadium to play in. But yeah, let's continue. I don't want to jump too. I'm very excited about this game.
It's going to be a game. And I know you're excited for another game. We already got our picks for this one. We already know who's winning. Me and Bryce, Indiana. Jacob, Ohio State. I think Bryce is a little hesitant about the Indiana, but I'm full go. I'm ready for Indiana.
There we go.
Bears versus Packers. You guys are going to the game. What's our quick thoughts on this game? Who we got? Will the Bears be 2-0 versus the Packers in 2025? What's our thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think I'm more confident after that Eagles game, and not because of the competition of the Eagles or them being the reigning Super Bowl champs, but just how we played that game.
Yeah.
Like Ben Johnson went in there with a game plan, and I recently learned something about like the first 15 plays are structured so they can kind of figure out a game plan off of that. He just ran the ball. He even said in a press conference, yeah, I probably threw the ball too much. Like he got away from the run game in the second half. So
we could have ran the ball 75 times.
We have Caleb Williams is in our back pocket. You know what I mean? And that's crazy to say about a generational quarterback. I mean, he still isn't hitting on all cylinders. I think his footwork has gotten better, but I still think he's a little dancy in the pocket. But I do think he escapes the pocket with purpose now versus last year. He was just kind of like, he didn't realize how good these athletes were, and he's going to be facing a good athlete in Micah Parsons. But the way he escapes the pocket is like no other. I mean, only maybe 2 other comparable quarterbacks that do it as good as him. And so I think Micah Parsons is not going to have the day that people think he's going to have.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah, and our O-line is arguably the best O-line in football right now, at least in the NFC. So I think Jordan Love has been playing fantastic. I don't trust, if it's a close game, I do not trust Jordan Love. I think he will throw a bad interception, especially with our opportunistic defense. Nahshon Wright is playing like he's trying to, get into the Hall of Fame. So I give the edge to the Bears because I think we're going to go in there and we're going to run the ball. And Packers haven't been able to get a run game together. Hopefully we get, we're full throttle as far as our defense. TJ Edwards. TJ Edwards is arguably one of the best run stoppers in the game right now when he's healthy. So I give the edge to the Bears. I don't know the score. I can't predict the score by any means, but I think we're going to run the ball a lot.
Time of possession, bro. That's all that matters.
Eagles had the ball for 20 minutes last game. 20 minutes.
Here's the cool thing about Ben Johnson and why I think he's playing chess and not checkers. Going into this game, I think it's clear we're not going to be able to run the ball as well as we did on Philly versus the Packers. I think
Maybe
that's
not
fair
two
assumption, right?
100-yard rushers. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still offense that's committed to the run. But saying that in that press conference tells me that going into this week, he's going to try to open up the pass game a little bit. That's
Yeah.
just my hot take, or that's just my
No, I agree.
guess
I
going
agree.
into
I
this
could see
game.
that.
Because I think if we try to go into this game thinking we can run as well as we did versus Philly, we're going to get into a lot of second and long, third and long situations. Now, Caleb throwing on first down, I think we stay balanced, but I think there's more first down throws than there was last week.
Okay.
With that, I think we're going to be able to. We got to be able to catch the ball in the cold. We got
No,
to be able to catch the ball in the cold.
Caleb
great
throws
point.
some piss
Gonna be
missiles.
really,
He
it's
throw that
gonna
shit
be
too hard.
really, it's gonna be
You know
really
who
cold.
catches it every time though? Luther
Colston.
Burden.
Oh,
Colston too.
Burden?
Yeah,
Luther Burden
those
has
rookies.
very few drops this season. I
Zacchaeus.
don't think he had any drops going into 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, Rome has always had a kind of a drop problem, in my opinion. As great as he is, like
Yeah.
he drops catchable balls to me, but Zacchaeus is, I love Zacchaeus, but like catch the ball,
He
man.
can't be out there. Not this
Yeah,
game.
yeah. I mean, maybe throw him a screen. He's actually pretty good on those wide receiver screens, even though I think that should be eliminated from football altogether. I hate the wide receiver screen more than I hate the tush push. Actually, I don't mind the tush push, but yeah, I hate the wide receiver screen. But yeah, I agree. Actually, now that you say it, I do think they open up the pass game and let that lead into the run game. Play
Yeah.
action under center, I think, is going to be huge.
Mhm.
Caleb Williams he's been there before. He's ready for this game. He knows the rivalry. Like, I think he might have a 300-yard game.
One thing I'm excited about in this game, previous coaches, I mean, Matt Eberflus more specifically, he would say, this is just another week. This is, it's the same game, whatever. Ben Johnson, his first press conference, I'm excited to beat Matt LaFleur twice a year, face him off twice a year, talking shit. And this week, he was like, oh, this is an important game. This has more meaning or whatever. So he embraces a rivalry. He's ready for this matchup. Matt Eberflus was scared as fuck in these games. Ben Johnson ain't. That's not his makeup. So I'm hyped that this rivalry, the Bears are fully embracing it. And, I'm not nervous for this game like I used to be. We used to get blown out by the Packers with Eberflus. Now I think we're going to take it to him.
Is this the biggest Bears versus Packers game in recent history?
Probably since 2013. I think that was the last time
Yeah.
both teams had something to play for, really. Yeah.
I think that when Aaron Rodgers beat them in the playoffs and won the Super Bowl.
Or no, I think that was it was a regular season game. I think Randall Cobb caught a long play touchdown or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Yeah,
game
this
has
is
meaning.
definitely the biggest in the past 10 years.
Y'all better be ready to pop your shit.
Oh, I'm like I said, I'm chirping big time. So I don't. If we win this game, we're in the playoffs. I mean,
yeah,
arguably number 1 seed.
If we lose this game, we're the 7th seed. So yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, we drop substantially if we lose this game. My prediction is that we win this game and it is 26-24.
Okay, close game. Yeah, I think it's gonna be close too.
Come back, kick a field goal. That's my
Cairo.
guess.
It's always a field goal with these games.
Yeah, we kick a field goal or we block a field goal. 26-24.
I think special teams show out this. I think we have a good return from is it Blackman or
Blackwell?
Blackwell, yeah.
Blackwell. I think we have a good return by him to set up something. Our special teams have been pretty good lately, so yeah. I'm excited for that. Yeah, I think all around, and I can't sit here and say I watch Packers games like that, so I'm not up to speed on how good they are. I know Jordan Love's been playing well, but Bears just seem well-rounded. Bears have this energy around them that they, for the Packers, it's just another game, but for the Bears, like they're all bought in. Yeah, they're, Ben Johnson, he has these guys wanting to win football games. It seems like football to me, the football we grew up with. It's not this extra stuff, not a whole lot of celebrate, just football.
It's so
There's
rare
just
though.
a confidence. They're just a
Yeah.
confident team right now.
Mhm.
There's something about a team that within themselves know, regardless if the chips are against us, we're going to figure out a way to win. You know,
Mhm.
just like the Chiefs last year. The Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl. Every game that they played, they lost the spread. I think
Yeah.
every game they won by 1 point. You know what I mean? Every single game. So, and they still won their division. They still went to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not comparing us to the Chiefs last year, but there's just something about a team that knows going into the fourth quarter, whether they're down 3 points or one score, or, you know,
2 scores.
sometimes
Yeah,
two scores. We've been down 2 scores before going in the fourth quarter. This is something about a team that just knows that, hey, we're going to figure it out, you know, and that is a scary team to play.
Yeah.
It is.
And I don't care what the Packers think, say they know we're coming. And we ain't coming no more. We here.
We
Them
did
boys
it.
coming. Them young boys coming.
Yeah.
We ain't coming no more. We here. So I'm
We here.
excited. I'm
And
excited to
also,
watch this
we
game.
would never tie with the Cowboys. Never. No, never, never,
Yeah, it's
never.
kind of embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose than tie, actually.
Yeah.
100%.
And
100%.
it's going to be an exciting weekend of football. It's a bad weekend to have plans, you know, bad weekend to go to the mall, do anything other than watch football. But I appreciate you guys for hopping on. Appreciate you guys, you know, for joining the podcast. Great analysis, Bryce. Great analysis, Jacob. Going to be a great weekend of football. Going to have to bring you guys back on to recap it all. But that's all we got for the show today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe on the Six Man Blitz channel. 1,090 subs right now. I'm trying to work our way up to 1,100. Keep it growing. Stay updated with our content and all that. And we'll keep providing you the entertaining analysis as always. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. As always, peace. Some people thought the NFC North was going to be the worst division in football this season. They thought it was going to be as bad as the NFC South.